Hello, it is Diane with Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com, and this August local class, the host wanted to have me show some techniques using vellum. So I've got two videos that I am posting with this blog post to show the two ideas that I had. This one is using embossing, an embossing folder, and using vellum with that. Now, the cardstock vellum that Stampin' Up! Sells is a lot stronger than the vellum that is sold in other markets, other things, and it's not quite as opaque as the Stampin' Up! So you can see through it better. It stands up a lot better. You can tell this one just doesn't want to stand. This one's a lot stronger. You can stamp on it with a StazOn or a permanent type alcohol ink. You can color on it. I would stamp the image on one side and then color from the back using the alcohol type markers, the Stampin' Blends. If you wanted to do that, you can use this as a card base. You can also use it with embossing powders as well as embossing folders. So I wanted to share that with the class today. All of my dimensions for the pieces are on my blog. It's linked in the description below this video, and I am using a few different Stampin' Up! Products. One is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss new Wintry 3D embossing folders. There's two. One is a snowflake, and the other one is more of an evergreen bough. Now, the reason that I have this, it's an old used dryer sheet, and the reason that I use this with the vellum is because the vellum is not quite as sturdy as the cardstock paper, and so especially in the 3D folders, I place the used dryer sheet over the vellum so that it doesn't cut through the vellum, but it does still. These 3D folders give a really, I hope that you can see, detailed emboss image in there. I'm also using papers from the Boughs of Holly suite. That's the Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper in the back. And then also the host was very interested in the Leaves of Holly and Hollyberry. This is in a bundle, Boughs of Holly bundle or Leaves of Holly bundle. And it comes with several of the dies that will either cut out the stamped leaves and berries and stuff, or some detailed ones. I'm also using a retired, no, not on this one. Excuse me, I use that on a different one. I'm using the Very Best Occasions, excuse me, for some of the inside sayings. And then I'm using some of the, excuse me, my throat dried out. It's kind of dry here. I'm using the Christmas wishes, but there's also a season's greetings that can be cut out with the label die that I have over by my Stampin' Cut emboss machine. And then on this card, I used some of the opal rounds, but you could also use the red and green adhesive back pearls, which come in the red. It looks like a more soft succulent color, the silver and the gold. So you could use those too. I hope that you will like and share my video with others that might be interested. And if you would also check out my blog, the dimensions will be over there, as well as pictures of the cards. And if you're interested in any of the products, I hope that you will shop with me through that blog site. So let me go ahead and pull out the pieces that I had in my card kits for my local class, and that way you could see what all I had ready and you'd be able to get those too. So I can't pick up things today. This is a thick basic white cardstock, and it is 5.5. This one's 5.5 by 11. On my example, I had it opening the other way, and then when I got to go and making my kits, I totally forgot. But you could make this with the 4.25 by 11 and then score it at 5.5 instead of scoring it 4.25 on this one. It can go either way. So my kits, I just did it this other way, and so you just fold that over and oh, there it is. Use your bone folder to get that real crisp burnished edge right there. And then I had a piece of soft succulent. This is 4 by 5.25. And then the designer series paper, I just really liked this one. The back side is kind of a mix mash of green. This one is 3 3/4 by 5. And then this vellum cardstock is cut at 3 1/4 by 4.5. And this is the one that you're going to emboss with that wintry 3D pine boughs folder. And then I prepared a white twine bow. I had a couple of scraps. This one is big enough to stamp and cut the leaf, and this is enough for that label die, and you stamp the greeting on that. And then I had the die cuts for the white one out of a scrap piece of white. This is the medium one, not the large one. And then I did out of evening evergreen a little pine bough for the front of this card as well. So let me get out the pieces that I have kind of prepared so I can walk you through some of these. I did want to kind of share with you on this one though. Let me get out my Stampin' Pierce mat. These are photopolymer stamps, and so you'll need to have some kind of cushioning on the back side. Now the sentiment on the front that I use for the Christmas greetings, I think this one, yeah, Christmas wishes, that's what it is. I'm using the evening evergreen ink, and then I'm just kind of stamping that, sorry if my head gets in the way, stamping that kind of in the middle of that scrap piece. And it's about 1 inch by 2 3/4, and then I can cut that out with the label die that it comes in the kit. And then in my example, I just stamped the leaf, the kind of more detailed leaf print in soft succulent, but I did on another one, get it out, and I thought that this might be another good alternative, so I wanted to share it with you. I took the more background of the stamp and I stamped that in the soft succulent. I stamped it off, and then I stamped on the scrap. Then I took the detailed one, stamped it in soft succulent, and I just left it the full force, and I stamped that over the top. And it gave me more of a kind of soft succulent background, a lighter shade as well as the dark. And so if you like that, you can use both of these stamps to get that image. But otherwise, the way that I had done the original example was just taking and inking it up in the soft succulent, and then stamp that on here. And there is a die that cuts out the outer edge, so then you get something like that, that is just the full force of the soft succulent on that. Now, put those aside. The embossed piece of vellum, I wanted to kind of show you that. I put the used dryer sheet in there so that it didn't cut through all the way, but it did. This is the back side, and then this is the front side, and you can see it's bending because that embossed image is really 3D. It gives a more 3D image. And so there is that. Also on the inside of the card base, another thing that I had seen someone do was to take the detailed stamp, or I think I'm going to do this again in soft succulent, and so they kind of stamped this so that it would go behind the words. So I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp kind of right here where I want to do the words, and it's a lighter shade of that soft succulent. And then I'm going to take the words that I want to use, which came from an old set. Which one was it? It wasn't that one. Oh, I don't. Oh, it's on the, actually the very best occasions. It's the one with a little more sparkle and a little less stress. Make this Christmas the very best. And so I'm going to stamp that in the Evening Evergreen over the top of that leaf. And this is using some non-traditional kind of colors. You could do other colors even that are less traditional. Some people like more muted colors, or pinks or purples or something like that. And so this, you can still read the sentiment over that leaf because we stamped off and got a lighter image. So let's set those off to the side, and then we can start putting this one together. And Stampin' Up! Also has these gold holly leaves that I'm gonna have available for people to put on the front of that. And then I also have some soft succulent ribbon that I just tied a knot in. This I didn't include in the card kits, but it was available if anybody wanted to use it. But and it wasn't on the example, but I just saw it and just thought, well, I need to use that up. So anyway, we're gonna put this card together. Now with vellum, if you're gonna be using it where you can see through it, any of your adhesives are going to show through where it's not covered up. So if you're going to use glue dots or adhesive runner, you might see that through there. You might not see it so much when it's embossed, but you for sure would see it if it were not embossed and it was a plain piece. So another way that you can adhere that is by using the white Tombow glue and a craft sheet and a sponge that you use for putting adhesives on. You can take and clean that sponge, or you can leave it that way and put it in a bag and reuse it later. I kind of take mine in and wash it after I've used it, and then I try to reuse it. But the sponges, it comes with 3 circles in a pack, and then I take and I cut mine in half, and then each half I cut into thirds. These I use for sponging color on to different cardstocks. I use it for rubbing the edges of things to give it a little more of a, I don't know what you call it, kind of a distressed edge or something on it. And so you can use those for many different things. So let's get adhesive runner out here, and oh, come on. This silicone craft sheet you could use underneath this to, so if you accidentally went over, it would get on the craft sheet instead of your paper or other cardstocks or anything. But I sometimes forget about it. So this one, I try to hold the cardstock up a little bit while I get my border where I want it, and then I put it down. I like using the Seal Plus runner because it tears off a little better, so that's why I use it. And then I'm going to add some adhesive behind this. I like my cards to stay together. Some people that I give them to, they actually hold on to them and look at them over and over, so I want to keep them where they don't fall apart. So there's that. And then I'm going to take and put some Tombow glue on here. And this craft sheet, it just doesn't hold the, once the adhesive dries up, you can just take and use your finger, as I'm doing here, and just roll it, and it'll roll right off. You can also take it inside and use it, soap and water, and wash it to get the rest of the ink off. I mean, not ink, glue, because I do use my craft sheet also for reverse image stamping and a bunch of other things. So anyway, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put some adhesive around the edges for this piece. And then I will put it on the front. Put that out of my way. And then, oh, I am going to use that. The delicate, or detailed, sorry, die cuts, you could, before you cut them out, you could put adhesive sheets on the back of the cardstock, and then when you want to, when you're ready to put it on here, you just peel the backing off and it's already sticky. You could also run it through one of those sticker makers if you have it, or the other thing is you could use this craft sheet again and some glue and that sponge. I'm going to put some more down here. And you could, oh, turn it the other way. Add this glue around here, and this way you don't get that glue on the, that comes through the pieces and parts where that are missing. You won't get that on your work surface. So I'm going to put this on here. And then I'm going to take this one. May want to put that on before. Let me see if I can get it where I want it. So I might be able to pull this up a little bit. Yeah. Kind of get that back behind there a little bit. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this little bow. and less is more. I don't use the white glue very often because I tend to put too much. Either too much or not enough. Okay. And then these little gold leaves, let me see, I may add those after. This, I'm going to put some dimensionals behind here. And I didn't grab my big ones, I grabbed the minis, but they work too. Okay, and then we'll take the backings off of those. That right way up. Got some glue on there. And I'm going to have it kind of go over the edge a little bit. Right there. And I think I'm going to put, hold on. Now you could use glue dots, which I think I am. Oh, there it is. And so I kind of, for the twine, I kind of roll one of these up a little bit and put it behind where the knot area is for this bow. I think I'm going to put that over on top of whatever this knot, but I'm going to put this knot on with a glue dot as well. And I'll have this. This over here, and then you can add some little gold as an accent. There's that. Okay, for some reason. Needs a little more glue. Okay. I'll have this other one. Down here. I don't know if it's because they're kind of fabric or something, that it's kind of soaking through. So with the little leaves, you may want to use a glue dot instead. It could be because it's going on top of vellum too, but try that again. And then you have your choice of these embellishments. I think I'm gonna go with some of these gold ones. go. And then we have this card. And it's really pretty and kind of simple and gives a big impact because of it's really got a three-dimensional look to it. So I hope that you enjoyed that card and that maybe you'll have some fun making it or one like it. And I hope that you'll check out the blog post and the other video for the class, and that you will be able to share this with others that you think would enjoy it as well. I love sharing paper crafting ideas with people. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and it gives me a creative outlet that I get pleasure from doing. And if you want to see other videos that I have, you can subscribe to my channel. You can click the bell icon and it will notify you when I upload a new video. And you can also go over to my blog and see other months and other cards that I have. I do put the dimensions for the projects over there. And thank you for letting me share with you and sharing your time with me. Thank you.